Here is a 2024 Mini Cooper SE two-door hardtop in melting silver metallic with leather cross-punch carbon black interior. The EV is going to have the least range. It's going to take a little bit more to charge it. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and I'm going to explain to you why this is one of those options that if you're looking for EV, is it the way you go, or should you go into a JCW? Both will have LED headlamps and cornering lights, no fog lights, because the front is going to be more simple and more elegant. S badging is going to be yellow. Gloss black around all of the exterior elements, including the badge, because of the iconic trim that we have. It's around $6,000, but it really does set the vehicle apart when you add this. Base MSRP is just under $31,000. When you're looking at a John Cooper Works, you will save a little bit of money, and they will have more horsepower. It will also be quicker in 0 to 60. We do not receive a frunk, but I do like that it's the same setup as a standard two-door Cooper. 17-inch Tentacle black gloss alloy wheels with the Mini Cooper badging that's outlined in the yellow. And I like that they're highlighting this to stress that it's a true EV. What does it pump underneath? Well, it's going to be the smallest battery. It's a 36 kilowatt lithium ion battery pack. Total range is going to be 114 miles. A level 2 charge or a 230 volt will take about 4 hours to charge, which is actually pretty quick, just the range isn't the best in its class. If you do a level 1 or a 120 volt, it's going to be 3 to 5 miles per hour. And you will get around 119 mpges for the city and 100 mpges for the highway, reaching 60 at 6.9 seconds, but it's going to feel faster because of how much power is underneath this hood. You will lose 8 horsepower opposed to the standard S trim. 191 horsepower is what we get here, and you're going to lose 7 pound-feet of torque, which is going to be 199 pound-feet of torque instead of the 206 pound-feet of torque on the S. No 7-speed automatic transmission or dual clutch transmission. This is going to be a single speed transmission. It's also going to weigh around 300 pounds more than the S, but it's still going to be quicker. It's going to be slower than the JCW by over a second, in which that one is going to be the fastest variant, the most powerful variant, and it's tough when you're looking for an EV vehicle, because this is a fun car. As I've been driving it for the day, I like the power that's out of it, but then when you think about the range, I mean, you're not getting very far. The charging times are pretty quick. It's just, you really need to up the range. This will have the same wheelbase at 98.2 inches. It will be about 0.5 inches less in length at 191.7 inches. And it's about 0.5 inches taller than the traditional two-door hardtop. The gloss black is going to be on the lower roof spoiler. You get the matte black that's going to surround the housing and the chrome that's going to wrap around the whole vehicle. Gloss black goes around the Union Jack LED taillights, and on the lower, nothing to be really aggressive here because this is a true EV. So I like that they didn't go with diffusers and just giving us fake exhaust, because you don't need all that nonsense when it doesn't have anything that's powering this engine but a battery. Non-power liftgate, which makes sense because of the range. There's not going to be any cubbies. 8.7 cubic feet of storage underneath the floor. You will have some more storage capacity. You can split fold the rear bench at a 60-40 split. That will maximize the cargo to 34 cubic feet. It does sit low, so it makes it easy, and it's a wide opening for this two-door hardtop. Going inside to 6-way manual seat adjustment for both the driver and the passenger, heated front seats. Headroom is going to be 40.3 inches, legroom at 41.3 inches. Large, deep footwells, and even in the center cluster it's smaller, so it gives optimal storage space, and this is what manual seat adjustments do. It makes it easier for somebody that's 6'3". The interior will keep the same style as a regular traditional Mini. Upgraded Harman Kardon because of the iconic package, and heads-up display with the glare shield protector. 8.8 inch with navigation because of the iconic package. Apple CarPlay, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming Bluetooth audio. Put it into reverse. We have a reverse camera and those LED lines that are going to be around the gauge cluster will illuminate and change colors when you come close to an object, and it will do the same thing when you're turning up and down the AC, or you're turning it to hot or cold for your sound system and your RPMs. The performance layout, which will give you a 50, 100, and 25% power. When you change it into sport mode, it'll look a little bit more aggressive. The leather wrap steering wheel is also part of the iconic package. Multi-functionality. No paddle shifters. The gloss black will surround the center and circular air vents on both sides. Dual climate control settings. Toggle switches are still found. USB ports and storage in front of the cup holders. The key fob for the EV. The gear lever gets the leather that's wrapped around it. The iDrive mouse, it's going to be more sporty. Open up into a wireless charging pad because of the iconic package, and you'll have more storage underneath it. And the nice thing about this is even if it's stuck, you just push this lever here and you can move it up and down to adjust for your liking. The door panels and the dash panel configure it together, and I like how it kind of gives a retro look. The gloss black comes into play. One touch up and down for the windows. It's going to be more sporty with the speaker inlay and a smaller storage pocket with 2 sunroofs to complement, and an edgeless rear view mirror with auto dimming and the toggle switches to move the panel moonroof. Going into the back seat, pull the lever, slide it forward. For the back seats, headroom at 36.9 inches, legroom at 30.8 inches. If the seat is pushed up, the rails are not too bad, so you have some feet space in the well, but if it's sitting back, it's going to be very tight. Cup holders on both sides, a tweeter and a speaker that's going to be next to more firm areas to rest, with a large window, storage behind both of the front seats, with your own moonroof that you can open and close the shade from the back seats. 47 horsepower less than the JCW, 36 pound-feet of torque less, 181 horsepower, 199 pound-feet of torque, 1 second slower than the JCW. Let's see how she performs in sport mode. It's still quite fun. 6.9 seconds 0 to 60, and because it's a near 50-50 weight distribution, even though this weighs over 300 pounds more than the standard S, you will still have some fun capabilities. And to show you some of those dynamics, go-kart feel. It's quick. It really is. It feels quick because of that wheelbase being under 100 inches, and it's almost an inch and a half less than the standard Cooper in length too. So it just feels a little bit more dynamic and playful, especially on the outs. It doesn't throw you out too much. It just holds well. The steering has the weight to it, so it feels very similar to the gas-powered Mini Cooper. And even adding that weight didn't really do much. One disadvantage right off the top is you can't really turn off the regenerative braking. You can only do it as lower or as higher. And higher, it's stopping me, literally. Lower, it's not stopping me so quickly, so it's kind of doable. I guess you get used to it, but I wish you could kind of turn it off. I get it though, because you only get 114-mile range, which is another thing I dislike, because this car, when I took it off the lot, I was like, wow. This is pretty impressive. I mean, look at this. This is a true Mini Cooper electrified. But then I saw the range and I was like, what? You can't go nowhere. If I was to use this vehicle myself, I would be stuck everywhere charging it up for 36 minutes roughly for an 80% charge, or at least the overnight charge is only 4 hours. It's just 114 miles. I have to complain quite a bit about that. Some other cons about the vehicle is when you are giving it more dynamics like I'm doing here and there, or right now, because it's electric, you're losing quite a bit of range. I mean, I lost probably about 5 miles of range just in a couple of laps showing the performance, and you really don't have the range to do that. Interior doesn't feel cramped except for here because you have the sun visor on the driver's side, which is nice to have because you don't have to move this one, you just simply move that one. It just because I'm tall. I have adjusted the seat as low as possible, and I do appreciate that there's no power seat adjustment or power tailgate because again, we're not getting much range. Some things I like about it, or pros, is you still have dynamics underneath it. It still feels like a mini DNA, and it's not so BMW-ified. Yes, when you start it, you get that electrified sound, which is cool because BMW and Mini teamed up to really make everything as iconic as possible to its own electrified sound, and I appreciate that. I also like the LED rings that they have kept. I just wish the infotainment screen was the size of the actual circle that's in the center. The gloss black definitely sets it apart, and because it's a Mini, you sit lower, you will hear some of the road noise, but dynamically speaking, I mean, it's good. They just need to put a bigger battery. That's really the biggest complaint that I have, and it's priced out relatively well because it starts in the low $30,000 price point. To get the performance that you're getting out of this, it's not going to be in those price categories. Typically, EV cars are starting in the $40,000 and $50,000 range, so you're getting quite a bit of savings. It's just you will be charging a lot more so than the rivals. For me, not a huge EV fan to begin with, so coming into this, I was really shocked that I was more so impressed with the price point and what you get, because I am a Mini fan and I like the JCW because John Cooper Works does an excellent job with the tuning of the suspension, giving more power in the engine. But dynamically speaking, I mean, this is still a capable vehicle. It's just, it's one of those type of weekend cars, and you're not going to really get very far with it, which is sad because they did increase the weight, and I understand putting a bigger battery will change the geometry a lot. So just testing the waters, it's a great vehicle. If you feel like throwing $30,000 on an EV car for a weekend, it's definitely one that I would say ticks the box. But for me, the JCW is where it's at because you have a little bit more performance. You will get thrown back more. This still feels a lot faster than 6.9 seconds 0 to 60. So it tells you how much faster the JCW feels, in which I have several reviews of them. Just go through the channel and check them out so you can really see the performance difference. But it's going to be the same wheelbase. That's why it's still such a fun car. Show you what's so fun about Mini Coopers and what I love the most is if you're running late for work, you need to move and weave in and out of lanes, you can do so. It's a smaller, compact vehicle. The two-door is the sweet spot in the sense of getting in and out dynamically and feeling like you're going super quick, even though you're just going the speed limit. The windscreen is going to be sleek, it's pushed forward, but yet because we're on the actual wheel well, more or less, you feel everything instantly. You do sit lower and you will feel some of the bumps. It's not as sporty as a BMW suspension or the JCW adaptive suspension, but for an everyday use, the seats are comfortable enough, so it ticks the box with that. And if you need to do some hard braking, this is a Mini Cooper, so it's not that heavy. It's a little bit heavier than the regular, but you can do it. And because it's a little bit heavier, you slide up probably about 15 to 20 feet more. Turn radius is about a lane, and to give her a go. That's what I mean. It's just a fun car. It will definitely put a smile on your face. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise, website, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like. And I'd like to thank Mini of Wesley Chapel for giving us this 2024 Mini Cooper SE two-door hardtop for our car review.